It's getting worse every single year. Every single year, this gets worse. Sequels, 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 the odd prequel. Every single year, it's getting worse. We have 30 sequels coming out this year. 30. Now, if you think about how many movies come out in a year with like a high budget or coming from like a well-known company, Warner Brothers, if it's a Netflix, if it's a Sony, we're getting 30 from all of them. Indie's the only thing still alive trying to create real stuff. Now, let's discuss what 30 we have. Starting with Soulmate, which is a Megan sequel, which I thought no one liked it. I thought it did terribly. I personally didn't see it. It doesn't seem like my kind of movie. Love horror, not my vibe. The fact that we're getting a third one has to be because they're making enough money and the budgets are low. I don't get it. Didn't watch the very first one, didn't watch the second one. Maybe I'd go back to watch the first one because it seems a bit better than the drool they seem to be bringing in now. What else do we got? Greenland 2. Never watched it yet again. I assumed it was going to be a lot like Olympus Has Fallen. It just seemed like it was going to be a linear storyline, playing the beats, playing the action. I couldn't care. Maybe there's a big group of people out there that are like, I can't wait for Greenland 2. I'm happy it was greenlit. I will give that sequels to a 2 is cool. I'm not super upset with getting a 2 of something, but once it's a 3, a 4, a 5, it's just let it die. I wonder if anyone was asking for this. If you were, please leave a comment. Tell me if you were, because I didn't care. This is one that I will accept, as this is a franchise that had, 2 at the beginning, and then they waited at least like 10 years. If you wait long enough for a franchise for people to want it to come back, or you ended with like a note being like, people want to see this. People want to know what the ending of those characters happened. They didn't do that. They started something fresh. I was really happy with the last one. I think I'll be happy with this one. This is on the list that I will be like, yeah, okay, happy about it. What do we got? Return to Silent Hill. Not going to consider this a sequel. And I know people are going to be like, but it's a Return to Silent Hill. We had a Silent Hill movie. I think it's just using the Silent Hill name, and it won't be anything to do with the last one. Or if anything, they're going to drop a couple names from the last one, and that's why they're there, or he's related. Probably. I don't really consider this a sequel. I think they're just trying to perfect it. Also, every time I see anything to do with a Silent Hill movie, I'm like, please do Alan Wake. Give us an Alan Wake movie, please. Those games are incredible. The storylines are incredible. And I wouldn't be upset if it wasn't like an Alan Wake movie based on like the games. It was like a story written and designed to be a movie, which is just a standalone thing. Would be incredible to me. The Strangers, everyone hated it. They said the last one was slop. The first one was incredible. I remember watching that when I was in high school, or even like just getting into high school with my friends. My friend's dad was standing outside with a mask on when we all looked over and almost pooped ourselves. So maybe this will be okay. Maybe this will be a fix. Maybe they'll figure out what went wrong with chapter 2 and bring it back to the first one. But with the second one being as bad as it was, I am just surprised yet again. This probably is a budget thing where they made more money than it cost them, or it's great for doing that. Scream. I'm not going to say anything bad. I'm sorry. I should. After everything I just said, I should be like, 7? What the hell? But they're fun. They're cheesy. We know what we're going to get. And there is such a fan base for them that I can fully understand why this would be made. Super Mario, it's a 2. It's the second one. It's not. It hasn't been milked to a dead cow. The first one was fantastic. Saw it in theaters, kind of on a whim, and I absolutely loved it. I like what they're doing with them, and I think they should. Yeah, yeah. I think this was a right decision, and Nintendo's gonna get their money. That's for sure. Ready or Not 2. Yet again, it's a 2. It's not a 5. It's not a 6. I really enjoyed the first one. I watched it once or twice. Didn't realize that all she did was really get tortured and scream throughout the whole movie. So if you want to go rewatch this movie, just be ready for her to scream the whole time and be tortured and get covered in blood. The idea, the premise is really cool. Not super happy with it coming back just because I feel like her story ended and it would have been better if she wasn't in it. But who knows? We might see her for like 2 minutes in it or like 10 minutes on a recap or something. I'd like to see a fresh story and it not be, just a regag of the whole scenario. So let's see what happens there. Devil Wears Prada. Maybe because it's so old it can come back. It's not something that interests me. I don't really care. I don't really think it should have been made. I think everyone really liked the Devil Wears Prada. I think I wore it. I watched it when I was young with my mom or my sister or something. But I feel like people are going to be disappointed. It's going to be the scenario with a lot of movies like this that people watch when they're in high school or they watch with their parents. I feel their disappointments on the rise. Mortal Kombat. They finally figured out the last one. I'm not upset about this either. Obviously, would I still like fresh stories over another one? Probably, but after they managed to successfully actually make a Mortal Kombat movie, I could see why they're like, let's keep this going. I don't think it's gonna be good. I'll tell you right now, I think the scary movies, they're just not here for the right time anymore. They had their place. They did well. I enjoyed like 1, 2, and 3, and then I found that they fell off, and I feel like everyone found that they fell off. Could it come back? I don't think in the world that we live in now that the comedy's gonna hit like it used to. Let it die. Let Toy Story die. Like it's done. I don't want to watch another Toy Story movie. I get that it's gonna be for children, but please just let it die. They can rewatch the other ones you already made. And at this point, it's just not gonna be good. It ended its story properly. Let it be done. Supergirl, no image came up, but yeah, this is not a sequel. This is clearly in a universe with Supergirl, and Supergirl's the main character. I'm not going to give this a sequel. This shouldn't be titled a sequel. Didn't understand the minion thing. Never really understood why people are so in love with it. I guess that fan base loves it. They want a third. They're gonna make their money. It makes sense. I'm not gonna go watch it. Would I'd rather they made it something more creative than using these side characters as silly little goofballs as they are, something else? Yeah, most definitely. Evil Dead. It's a horror. It's cheap. They're gonna make it. I know the last one wasn't considered fantastic, but was also, a new light to that franchise. So I, yeah, I'll probably go check that out. Spider-Man. Everyone loves Spider-Man. Let's move past that. I know sequels. We shouldn't have this many, and I think this is his last movie in contract, so this will be the last one as far as I know. It needed an ending, so I understand that they couldn't, make a 4-hour movie instead of a 2 for the last, and they got to end his story before he gets too old and doesn't look like he holds apart. They're gonna milk this franchise forever. I swear to God, they're gonna treat this like probably just like any slasher movie now. Um, it's just gonna keep being milked. I don't think people are enjoying them anymore, but as long as people keep watching them, they're gonna keep making them. I don't know how that's a sequel. I don't know anything about Clayface. I thought um, it's supposed to be a horror from what I heard. This movie's supposed to be in that realm, which could be interesting. Could be a new take. Wouldn't consider it a sequel. Would be more of a spin-off, and wouldn't put it under that label. But I don't know. Maybe the DCU can actually do something if Warner Brothers isn't bought out by Netflix and it's canceled. We'll see about that. No, should have never been done. Outrageous to be done. This was, I know my sister's favorite movie and my mom's favorite movie when I was growing up. They would watch this movie all the time, and I feel like it's gonna be. I think the movie called The Coven. It's gonna be like that. They're gonna watch the crap out of it for a new 2026 audience, and it's not gonna be what the people who originally watched this movie are going to enjoy. I think it's going to be so washed out. Resident Evil, let it die or restart it. Can we restart it based on like the actual games? I know the last one they did was a lot closer in concept to Resident Evil 1, but it was so far away from what it actually like what the game's actually about and how the game goes. And I'd love to see more of a mystery version of it, and where they have to try to find bullets. Like, make it a place where they're trying to escape and they're not already loaded with guns and worried about the next. Make it a mystery instead of an action, is I think what they need to do. Does anyone care about the Social Network, about a sequel? Because I feel like that should have been, if that was going to be done as a sequel, it should have been done the next year or 2 years later. I don't think anyone cares anymore. They're not even the biggest company in the world anymore. Do you want NVIDIA and how that started? Not a sequel. I'm going to go right past that. I don't think it's going to be a great movie, but it's not a sequel, so we're going to move past that. Hunger Games also did terrible the last one they did, so maybe they're trying to fix it. The people who read the books are probably going to show up, so they'll make them money. I'm not going to be there. I watched the first couple. They were good. Not anymore. Fockers in Law. Another one that just needs to die. I don't think the original one was even supposed to be made. It was just lucky enough to get through, and now they're just going to keep riding the coattails of the original and let it die. Let it die. Ben Stiller has much better things to do, I think, and better things to write than that. It's been old enough that maybe it could come back and people might enjoy it, but not for me. I enjoyed the original ones, and I don't think I need another one. And maybe for the next generation, it'll be good. But it's also one that I think is going to be washed out. I think they're going to probably stray really far from the books and just wash the whole thing out with new 2026 concepts that no one's going to like. Very not Beauty and the Beast. Very Snow White. I think is going to happen here. I have not seen it. I do need to watch it. I wish I'd watched it over the last Christmas. I haven't had the chance. So I am actually I'll probably watch that one soon and then see if I'm going to look forward to this or not. Let's do it. I'll see it. Why not? Let it die. We've had enough of them. And honestly, I'm tired of the cast. I think everyone's tired of seeing The Rock do stuff. Kevin Hart being there and being short. I think we can all agree that they were okay, but too much again. Do you consider these sequels if the storylines are all different? Like, I get it's got the same characters in it, but if it's a new premise, like, I'm not going to give it full sequel. Like, I get it, they're not starting with new actors and they're not starting a brand new storyline, but I don't think it's going to do well in the box office, and I think it's going to be something that people are wondering, like, how much money did you put into this, considering how bad things have been going? Yeah, we need the part 3. This is a fantastic movie. They're like the first 2 were fantastic. The third makes sense, but these are parts, right? These are not sequels in the same note as we did one. It ended. Now we're gonna rewrite and start a whole new one. This is the continuation of the first and second, as if they could have filmed it all at one time. So I got nothing against that. And they ranked number 1 as Angry Birds. Like, I guess ranked number 1. I liked the first one based on the mobile video game, phone game, which is kind of funny that it's got this much success and that they're going to bring it back. But I'm not sad with it. I think it's actually one of the more fun movies out there when it comes to this kind of concept. So what do you think? What ones are you excited for? Are you excited to see 30 more sequels? Because I'd much rather they were doing something fresh, something new. But, they know how to make their money, and it's always usually sequels, because if you like the first one and there's a percentage that like the first one or the second one, they're going to go see the third or the fourth and the fifth, and we need to stop and let that die.